24 minutes in the books out there at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, where Danny Green not only bowled over Steph Curry, he dunked over Kevin Durant. En route to a 55-50 halftime lead. The lead was 19 at one point, down to a handful at the break. American Express halftime report. Studio J in Atlanta. Chuck, Kenny, Shaq. I'm Ernie Johnson, University of Georgia.
Oh my God!
Number one in the nation.
Until next Saturday. Until next Saturday.
And you're lucky y'all don't play LSU. Y'all scared of us.
I was watching.
LSU got a beat down coming Saturday, so don't worry about that.
That's who you got.
Oh, I got the Tide,
Make it light
but
on
I got
yourself.
I got my hands.
Hold
Hey, I just want to tell my Auburn people this: don't look past lightweight Texas A&M. Worried about Georgia next week. Go down to College Station, spank Texas A&M, and then I'll see y'all next weekend for the Bulldogs.
Chuck, you're not allowed to
You're
speak
going to
for
the Bulldogs
Alabama.
next
You're not allowed to speak for Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna
you
we're gonna go down
to
to
the
Texas
Bulldogs.
A&M and stomp them like dogs.
You gonna let him get away with being a bandwagon fan?
I know,
he's
I'm
a
not an
bandwagon.
Alabama fan.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just
just
saying.
checking. Okay,
They're gonna
just
beat
checking.
LSU
All
this
right,
weekend.
okay.
Well, shout out to
Make it
the
light on
Houston
Well, just
Astros. How's that?
Make it light on yourself.
Shout out to the
Houston Astros, World Series champ.
Clutch City 2.
All of that being said,
Clutch City 2.
Georgia
Ernie.
Bulldogs, number one in the nation.
Oh, my God.
And here are the American Express.
Ernie, I
teammates.
can't wait till next Saturday.
Me either. And I can't wait for the week after that when I get to see you again. LaMarcus Aldridge, 15 points in the first half, 4 out of 13 from the floor, has 6 boards. He and Kyle Anderson combining for 20. We talked about LaMarcus Aldridge in the pregame show, Shaq. You were saying that he needs to be meaner, or
More aggressive.
more aggressive.
Yeah, but see, 'cause like I say,
He said he was too nice.
he's too nice when he's playing with another great player. He takes a back seat to Kawhi. And first of all, Kawhi's amazing, but you can still have 2 alpha males. And for some reason, he's such a nice guy, he's just too passive.
There you go. So with all of that being said,
And, you know, for a guy like him, he's primarily a jump shooter. So, you know, when we say be aggressive, LaMarcus, we mean, you know, right here, you got to get in the post and you got to work guys. If they don't double you right here, do what you do, make a strong move, put it up, bam. Now, you know, being aggressive is not shooting jumpers all the time. Right here, you got to go down low, do what you do. We like this, LaMarcus.
I love that.
And, you know, Chuck is saying the right thing. When Kawhi come back, you have to continue to do this. Don't ever take a back seat. There's room for a 1-2 punch. You know, Golden State has a 1-2-3-4 punch. Everybody can share the ball, everybody can get the wealth, but he cannot be primarily a jump shooter when we say be aggressive. He has to, you know, do both.
Spurs, who started the year 4-0, have lost 3 in a row, trying to stop that skid tonight. What do you got on their offense?
Well, in the world of what I call mooning people, staying around the 3-point line.
Well, your
well,
mooning
it's
ain't
like
the
you're the
same
only
as
one
my
who calls
mooning.
it. What?
It's because the arc looks like a half moon, and guys stay around it. And I say, oh, you just staying out there, and it's mooning people. So the Spurs do a little bit something different because they don't just stay around the 3-point line. But I knew I would get your attention with that name of what it was.
Yeah.
And so what happens is as you bring the ball up court and you bring it down, you know, most guys say stop, freeze it here. Everyone stops at the 3-point line. If you look at Kyle Anderson, you look at McCall, even Aldridge is at the 3-point line. There's no one in the paint. They're around the moon. So, okay, but the Spurs have kind of put a twist on it. So as McCall drives, freeze it again, I'm not going to settle for the short jump shot. I have to get a steady diet of 2s. And that's what the Spurs have done over the years. And when Kawhi comes in, as we let it go, this what makes them different because they get a steady diet of the 2-point basket. Again, they come off the pick and roll. Most guys pick and pop. Now we got to post up here inside of the free throw line. You got guys staying on the 3-point line, but if you don't, you foul because you have the mismatch. But when you move it around, again, they are not having a steady diet of 3-point shots. Freeze it here. He pitches out. This would be a normal 3-point shot for 85% of the teams in today's game. But when he gets it here, even Danny Green pump fakes and says, I can come in and get a 2. And all the people who do not like 2-point shots, those count too. And you need a diet of both, which allows the 3-point shot to actually work when you're able to drive by people running at you.
Does that rank as one of the best descriptions of mooning you've heard?
I like my way better. I like my mooning better than that thing. You know, Ernie, it's frustrating watching this game, though, because the Warriors are just going through the motions. It's like they get down 18, okay, we're going to win at some point, and I hate that. I mean, I want them to be challenged. They're a great team. But like
if you were three times going to the NBA Finals, how would you Charles Barkley, the player, get yourself ready for Game 9 of the NBA season?
But it to me, it's just kind of disrespectful because it's like you could just.
No, how would you do it though?
Well,
It's hard to do, Chuck.
I understand
It really
that,
is.
but I'm saying, but like you're playing against yourself. You got to play against yourself.
Yeah, that's understandable. But when you know you can beat somebody, right, and it's just not really a challenge, you just, like you say, you just go through the motions.
Yeah.
But, you know, every now and then, you know, it's those games where you got to play against LeBron, you got to play against the Clippers.
Yeah.
You know what used to happen? Honestly,
Spurs without
last thing,
that's
when
a
we
lot.
did it twice back to back, you know what would happen in games before this? There would be fights, team fights in the locker room or in practice. Like we just agitate each other to get each other to play better.
Yeah,
that
but
was the only way to do it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why guys like Big Country always used to dominate, because I never really, you know, got up.
But you know the other way to look at it is when you take the floor, always assume there's somebody out there who's never seen you play before, never seen your team play before.
Well, then you should get cable.
This
You
is
ain't
the
seen
impression.
Warriors.
This is the impression
That's
you're
hard
going
to
to
do,
leave for
Ernie.
them.
It's hard to do.
You got to try
Hard
it.
to do.
You got to agitate each other.
Welcome to the American Express.